Okay. Hey. Hey, baby.
A girl from the south side of Chicago, now stepping out of a sleek Lexus sedan like it's the most casual thing in the world. No entourage, no theatrics, just a confident smile. The kind you only earn when you've survived every chapter the world tries to write for you. Before the Emmys, the viral moments, the fashion deals, and the multi-million-dollar brand partnerships, she was simply Lauren Keke Palmer. A child with a voice too big for the living room she practiced in, and a spirit too bright for the city blocks she grew up in. Today, people see the glamour, the designer gowns, the private jets, the luxury apartments with floor-to-ceiling sunset views. They see the polished star who navigates Hollywood boardrooms the same way she navigates punchlines effortlessly. But what they don't see is the mastermind behind the smile, the strategist behind the comedy, the investor behind the fashion. Keke Palmer built a career on talent, but she built a life on hustle. She turned authenticity into a business model. She turned her voice into capital, and she turned every no she ever heard into a different kind of power. So here's the real question. How did Keke Palmer turn talent, humor, and pure determination into a lifestyle worth millions without ever losing her voice, or the joy that makes her unforgettable? Let's step inside the world of a woman who didn't just enter Hollywood, she redesigned the blueprint. Before the red carpet, before the world knew her name, Keke Palmer was just Lauren, a bright-eyed girl growing up on the south side of Chicago, where winter wind bites hard and ambition has to burn even hotter just to survive. She was born into a family that understood performance. Her parents, Sharon and Larry, were both actors in the 90s, talented, passionate, but navigating an industry that didn't always open doors. Still, they passed that fearless spark directly to their daughter. Keke didn't learn to sing. She arrived singing. Before she could pronounce a full sentence, she was belting melodies in church, standing on stage with no fear, no hesitation. But talent alone doesn't pay bills. Her parents worked multiple jobs, sometimes sacrificing sleep just to keep the dream alive. At 9 years old, Keke looked her mother straight in the eye and said, "I want to be a star, not, I hope." A declaration. That belief turned into a leap of faith. They packed their bags and moved from Chicago to Los Angeles. No safety net, no guarantees. Just a child with impossible talent, and parents willing to risk everything. Once they got to LA, reality hit fast. Auditions were endless. Some days, Keke auditioned in the same outfit because it was all she had. Rejection after rejection. But here's the thing about Keke. She wasn't just talented. She was built for the spotlight. Sharp, fearless, unstoppable. Every no fueled her. And then came the yes. That first life-changing audition where the casting room suddenly looked up. Because this wasn't just another kid. This was a once-in-a-generation voice. That yes didn't just open a door. It rewired the future of her entire family. Keke Palmer didn't just enter Hollywood, she interrupted it. Her breakout came in 2006 with Akeelah and the Bee. This wasn't a child star moment. This was an arrival, a performance so layered that critics compared her to legends twice her age. The film became a cultural touchstone for Black girls seeing themselves represented, for families who saw discipline, intelligence, and vulnerability wrapped into one unforgettable character. And suddenly, Hollywood understood. Keke wasn't cute. She was elite. After Akeelah, Disney came knocking. Nickelodeon followed. She starred in Jump In and became one of the most recognizable young faces on Disney Channel. But with True Jackson, VP, she broke records becoming one of the highest paid teen stars on television. A Black teenage girl portraying a CEO. Confidence, stylish, smart, in charge. But the most impressive part? Keke navigated childhood fame without the scandals. No arrests, no breakdowns, no tabloids. She transitioned into adulthood with maturity, clarity, and an almost supernatural understanding of her own boundaries. As she grew, so did her range. She took on hustlers, standing alongside Jennifer Lopez and Cardi B, proving she could command the screen with comedy, confidence, and precision. Then came Nope, Jordan Peele's sci-fi thriller, where Keke delivered a performance so electric that audiences joked she carried the film on her back. Her character, Emerald, wasn't just funny, she was iconic. Internet memes, viral edits, think pieces. Keke was the moment. Then came the digital era, and Keke mastered it better than anyone. Raw, real, unfiltered, hilarious. The internet crowned her the unproblematic queen. Her interviews became viral sound bites. Her reactions became memes. Even her casual phrase, "sorry to this man," entered pop culture like wildfire. In 2021, she became one of the youngest talk show hosts in TV history with Just Keke. She hosted the MTV VMAs. She became a one-woman entertainment machine, acting, singing, hosting, producing, creating. And then came the Emmy win for her digital series. Not a blockbuster. Not a movie studio campaign. Her own creativity. Her own platform. Her own voice. That win cemented something important. Keke Palmer wasn't just surviving Hollywood. She was reshaping it. Because while the world celebrated her performances, something else was happening behind the scenes. Keke wasn't just acting. She was building something. Quietly. Strategically. A brand. A portfolio. An empire luxury means different things to different people. For Keke Palmer, it has never been about noise. It has always been about choice. The kind of wealth that whispers instead of shouts. The kind that moves with intention instead of ego. Keke's version of luxury begins at home. Not a mansion built to intimidate, but a sanctuary shaped to protect her peace, her craft, and the woman she has grown into. Her former Studio City home, a Mediterranean-style retreat tucked into the hills, held the charm of old Hollywood without the extravagance. With arched windows that framed the Los Angeles skyline, warm stucco walls that glowed golden at sunset, vaulted ceilings that made every room feel expansive yet intimate, and sunlit rooms that invited creativity. The space breathed both nostalgia and maturity. It was the kind of home that didn't demand attention. It earned it. A 3,600 square foot haven built in 1987, where simplicity met quiet sophistication, where every corner felt intentional, where scripts were studied late into the night, music was recorded in makeshift home studios, and gratitude stayed at the center of every moment. But her life evolved. Her career expanded. Her responsibilities deepened. So she moved not to something louder, but something wiser. In Encino, she stepped into a new chapter, a modern estate built for stability and long-term comfort, where privacy came first, where creativity could breathe, where she could raise her child, reset her spirit, and build the life she'd always dreamed of without needing to showcase it to the world. The home is expansive, but warm, bright, but grounded, filled with greenery outside the windows, palm trees swaying in the breeze, manicured gardens that feel like secret sanctuaries. Inside, soft textures across living spaces, plush sofas in neutral tones, hand-woven rugs from local artisans, art pieces that tell stories of heritage and hope, and a sense that this is a woman who knows exactly who she is and what she deserves. Her luxury extends beyond Los Angeles. For years, Keke held a New York base, a Brooklyn penthouse set high above the city, with skyline views that wrapped the room like moving art. She eventually listed it for sale, but the message remained clear. Her real estate choices aren't trophies, they're tools. Each one represents a different chapter: growth, independence, reinvention. And then there's her philosophy on spending a luxury most celebrities never master. Because despite earning millions from childhood, Keke never fell into the trap of lifestyle creep. She once said in an interview that if she had $1 million in the bank, she'd still keep her rent at around $2,500. Not because she's cheap, but because she's smart. Her parents taught her discipline, how to stretch a dollar, how to save for the future, how to build wealth with longevity instead of impulse. They taught her that money isn't just about what you spend, it's about what you protect, what you invest, what you pass down. This is the heart of her luxury: freedom, intention, control. Even her relationship with travel reflects that discipline. For over a decade, she didn't take a single vacation that wasn't work-related. Every plane ride, every hotel suite, every city was tied to a project, a set, a responsibility. She flew, first class for work, stayed in 5-star hotels for premieres, but she never took time just for herself. Only recently did she start embracing travel for rest, for joy, for the soft luxury of doing nothing at all. Beach getaways with her son, quiet weekends in hidden resorts, moments where she could finally exhale. And when it comes to cars, her choices tell an even deeper story. While Hollywood flexes Rolls-Royces, Lamborghinis, and 6-figure engines that roar down Sunset Boulevard, Keke chooses practicality, wrapped in quiet comfort. She's been spotted most often in a Lexus, a reliable, smooth, understated car that represents her grounding and her refusal to perform wealth for an audience. The Lexus isn't flashy. It doesn't turn heads. It doesn't scream status. But that's exactly the point. To Keke, a car isn't a status symbol. It's a tool. It gets her where she needs to go safely, comfortably, privately. It's leather seats that feel like home. It's a sound system that plays her favorite playlists. It's reliable when the world demands she show up. It's the peace of knowing she doesn't have to explain her choices to anyone. There have been moments where productions or events put her behind the wheel of luxury rentals, BMW i8s with futuristic designs, Range Rovers built for power, top-tier SUVs wrapped in matte finishes. But those are tools of the job, not symbols of her identity. The Lexus, though, that's authenticity. That's Keke choosing function over flash, reliability over recognition, longevity over trends. It speaks to her philosophy. Luxury doesn't need to announce itself. Real wealth is knowing you don't have to prove anything to anyone. A car is not a billboard. It's a seatbelt for the journey she's on. And Keke Palmer's journey has always been about moving forward, not looking back at who's watching. Her fashion, however, that's where her luxury becomes expressive, playful, bold, intentional. Keke Palmer understands clothes the same way she understands characters. Each look tells a story. Each outfit is a script. Each accessory is a line of dialogue. On red carpets, she moves like a woman who knows both her power and her softness. Couture gowns at the Met Gala custom pieces from designers like Versace, Valentino, and Balmain. Sculptural silhouettes that hug her curves like art. Daring colors, electric blues, deep emeralds, fiery reds that photograph like masterpieces. And textures that demand attention sequence that catch every flash. Velvet that feels regal. Silk that flows like water. She commits to the moment fully. Her style is never predictable, never careless. It's curated, crafted, alive, but the luxury is not just in the fabric. It's in the values behind it. Keke invests in fashion like she invests in people with intention. From her partnership with Shoe Dazzle, where she curated a collection of stylish, affordable footwear for everyday women, to supporting Black-owned brands like Brother Vellies and Hanifa, she champions small designers and emerging creators who remind her of where she came from. She wears independent labels alongside haute couture. She mixes high fashion with streetwear. She makes luxury accessible, not exclusive. Her jewelry stays minimal gold pieces that feel like memories, not statements. Delicate chains, simple hoops, rings passed down from her mother. And her skincare routine? A quiet ritual rooted in self-care, hydration, and glow. The kind of luxury that doesn't need to be seen to be real. She's spoken about the importance of taking care of her skin, of honoring her body, of treating herself with the same care she gives to others. It's face masks on Sunday nights. It's oils and serums applied with intention. It's the luxury of time. Time to breathe, time to reset, time to be. Beyond the aesthetics, Keke's fashion choices carry deeper meaning. They reflect her journey from the little girl who auditioned in the same outfit multiple times because her family couldn't afford more, to the woman who now walks red carpets in custom couture worth tens of thousands of dollars. Every gown, every accessory, every look is a reminder she made it, and she did it on her own terms. Her style isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out while staying rooted. It's about honoring her past while designing her future. It's about showing young black girls that luxury isn't reserved for a certain type of woman. It's for any woman bold enough to claim it, creative enough to reimagine it, and strong enough to redefine it. Every corner of her lifestyle echoes the same truth. Keke Palmer invests in things that last, things that matter, things that bring her back to herself. Luxury, for her, isn't loud, it's layered. It's in the homes she chooses, with peace in mind, in the cars she drives with practicality, in the fashion she wears with creative joy, in the investments she makes to secure her future, not perform her present. It's in the subtle scent of a clean home, the warmth of hardwood floors beneath her feet, the softness of a Sunday morning where she can finally breathe without a call time, without a script, without expectations. It's in her ability to provide for her family, to build generational wealth, to say no without fear, to create spaces where she can mother, dream, and continue becoming. Because at this stage of her life, luxury isn't about proving anything. It's about protecting everything: her peace, her creativity, her legacy. If you had Keke Palmer money, would your luxury be flashy and loud, or quiet and intentional like hers? Privacy is a luxury, and Keke Palmer has spent her entire adult life learning how to protect it. For someone who grew up in the spotlight, the world has seen almost everything. But the one thing they never got full access to was her heart. Then came a new era, one she didn't plan for. The era of viral Keke. Memes, reaction clips, Savage X Fenty runway moments. Her iconic line, "I'm sorry to this man." Her humor, her quick wit, her joy became a cultural language. Keke Palmer wasn't just famous anymore. She was familiar. But familiarity came with expectations. People wanted to know everything, until life moved her into a chapter where keeping things private became even more important: motherhood. When Keke welcomed her son, Leo, the world watched her transform in real time. She described Leo as her greatest blessing, the kind of love that rearranges you from the inside out. Suddenly, every decision had weight. Every boundary had purpose. She wasn't just protecting herself anymore. She was protecting a legacy. And with that came a new version of Keke, older, wiser, more intentional. A woman who speaks openly about postpartum emotions, about learning herself again, about finding balance. She became a voice for mental health and emotional clarity, not because it was trendy, but because it was necessary. And then came the controversy, the headlines, the public unraveling of her relationship with Darius Jackson. People argued, people chose sides, but Keke, she chose clarity. She didn't go online posting paragraphs. She didn't feed the fire. Instead, she moved with deliberate calm, prioritizing her child, her safety, and her peace. Her actions spoke where her words didn't need to. She continued working, continued smiling, continued showing up for herself. Because Keke Palmer doesn't survive chaos. She transforms through it. And yet, even with all the noise, the core of who she is hasn't changed. Keke is still the girl who laughs loudly, who radiates honesty without ever oversharing, who finds joy in simple things: a cozy home, a day off, a FaceTime call with her family. Her private life is not a mystery box. It's a garden, carefully curated, tenderly protected. She lets the world see what she chooses: her work, her humor, her resilience, her love for her son, her growth, and she guards the rest. Motherhood didn't just change her schedule. It changed her spirit. It widened her perspective, deepened her patience, sharpened her boundaries, and taught her a new kind of power: the power to walk away, the power to say no, the power to rebuild. But as her personal life evolved, something else was rising just as powerfully, a mission far bigger than entertainment. When the cameras turn off, when the studio lights dim and the red carpets roll away, there's a version of Keke Palmer the public doesn't always see. A builder, a protector, a voice, a force for change. Because long before she became an internet meme or a box office draw, Keke understood something essential. Visibility is power, and what you do with that power defines your legacy. Keke's activism isn't loud. It isn't performative. It isn't branding. It's alive. It shows up in the way she speaks about Black womanhood, the way she advocates for fairness and protection in an industry that often exploits the most vulnerable voices. It shows up in her honesty about pay inequality, about roles that box women, and about the ways mainstream Hollywood has tried and failed to limit her. She challenges these systems with grace and fire, pushing for equity, opportunity, and representation through her platforms, her companies, and her presence. She once said, "I'm not new to this. I'm true to this." And that statement alone captures everything. She's not performing activism. She's embodying it. She shows young Black artists that they don't have to fit a mold. They can break it, rewrite it, burn it, and create something new. Because while some celebrities give back with a check and a photo op, Keke gives back with her time, her energy, her presence. She mentors upcoming performers through programs like Big Slick Celebrity Weekend, an annual event in Kansas City that raises millions of dollars for pediatric cancer research at Children's Mercy Hospital. She doesn't just show up for photos, she spends hours with the kids, playing games, sharing laughs, making them feel seen. She's partnered with organizations like Saving Our Daughters, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering young girls through mentorship, education, and leadership development. She sat in classrooms, spoke at assemblies, and shared her story, the struggles, the rejections, the moments when she wanted to quit, to show young Black girls that success isn't linear, it's layered. She's donated to boys and girls clubs across the country, helping fund after-school programs, arts education, and safe spaces for kids who need them most. During COVID-19, when schools shut down and families struggled, Keke helped provide meals, technology, and resources to communities that were hit hardest. This part of her, the teacher, the big sister, the guide, may never trend online. It may never make headlines, but it matters, because for every kid who sees Keke Palmer on screen and thinks, maybe I can do that too, she's already changed a life. And then there's her activism in a space many people are still afraid to speak about, mental health. Keke talks openly about anxiety, about identity, about healing, about growing up too fast under the glare of cameras and expectations, about learning how to take care of herself after years of taking care of everyone else. She's discussed her struggles with anxiety and self-doubt in interviews, on her podcast, and on social media, not for sympathy, but for solidarity. Her candor breaks stigma. It normalizes the conversations millions of people are afraid to have, and she does it without shame, without filters, without pretending she has all the answers. Her honesty becomes permission for fans to be honest too. Permission to struggle, permission to rest, permission to ask for help, permission to be human in a world that demands perfection. And in the digital era where fame is instant, brutal, unpredictable, Keke Palmer has carved out a blueprint that many young stars follow today. She showed that you can be a meme and a CEO, a comedian and a powerhouse, a child star and a grown woman who owns her image, her narrative, her businesses, her power. Her influence is more than cultural. It's architectural. Keke reshaped the blueprint of what a modern Black superstar looks like. Bold, but grounded. Funny, but intentional. Relatable, but not exposed. Stylish, but socially aware. Digital, but deeply human. She made space for complexity. She made space for authenticity. She made space for possibility. And in doing so, she inspired a generation. Young Black girls who saw her and thought, I don't have to choose. I can be everything. Young mothers who saw her navigate parenthood publicly and felt less alone. Young artists who saw her pivot from acting to hosting to producing and realized that reinvention is survival. She's also used her platform to speak out on social justice issues, from Black Lives Matter to voting rights to police reform. In 2020, during the height of the protests following George Floyd's murder, Keke went viral again, but this time for something deeper. She was filmed at a Los Angeles protest, speaking directly to National Guard members, pleading with them to march alongside protesters. Her words were calm but urgent. We're on the same side. We have to protect lives. That moment captured millions of hearts, not because it was performative, but because it was pure. It was Keke using her voice, not for headlines, but for humanity. She is the rare kind of artist who bridges eras from the old school studio system to the chaos of the internet age, to the future of digital influence and self-owned platforms. Her legacy isn't just in the films she made, or the shows she carried, or the awards she won. Her legacy is in the impact, the conversations she started, the walls she broke, the ceilings she shattered, the young artists who believe they can because she did, the mothers who feel less guilty for setting boundaries because she modeled it, the creators refuse to be boxed in because she refused first. And maybe her greatest legacy is the freedom she gives others simply by being herself, unapologetic, unfiltered, unstoppable. Keke Palmer stands as a reminder that power isn't something you're given. It's something you grow, something you claim, something you nurture, something you pass on. And in the story of modern Black excellence, her chapter is one of the brightest, boldest, and most beautifully complex. Do you think Keke Palmer will be remembered more as an actress, an activist, or a culture shifter? Drop your answer in the comments. From the south side of Chicago to global stages, film sets, fashion houses, and boardrooms, Keke Palmer's journey is more than a success story. It's a blueprint for how to survive fame, grow with grace, and turn humor, heart, and hustle into a legacy that will outlive the headlines. She showed the world that versatility isn't a skill, it's a superpower, that you can be brilliant and bold, soft and strong, funny and fierce, a mother and a mogul all at the same time. Keke Palmer didn't just navigate Hollywood, she redefined it. She proved that the modern Black superstar doesn't fit inside a box. She builds her own stage. She writes her own script. She owns her own light. So now we ask you, is Keke Palmer the most versatile star of her generation? Or is she the new blueprint for what a modern Black icon looks like? If you love stories like this, hit that like button, subscribe to Black Empire Files, and drop your favorite Keke Palmer moment in the comments. Your voice helps keep our culture alive.